Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday live stream. I'm Alex, and I am doing a little intro before I introduce our real special guest. So, if you have any idea what's happening today, if you've been getting the emails, then we have our favorite office manager, Deb, who is featuring a few of her recent makes on our live stream today, and they're all using the Now Shirt pattern. So, before we get to that, I just wanted to announce to you guys a couple things. If you didn't already get a peek at these before the live stream officially started. So I just wanted to make you all aware, if you have been thinking about coming to Santa Fe with us in 2025, we have only 4 spots left. And this is all about our fractured jackets, which we talk a lot about the sewing workshop. So we recently had our fractured jacket in Kansas workshop. We had Santa Fe this past February in 2024, which was fantastic. We decided to bring it back and do it again in 2025. It was just so wonderful. So if you want to join us in Santa Fe next February, the dates are February 16th through 21st. They are at an amazing venue. It's called La Fonda on the Plaza. It is where your rooms are, as well as where the venue is. So the venue is a fantastic, they normally use it for a wedding reception room. Lots of great light. It's on the top floor where there's a deck and a patio. So you have great sunlight. It's a great big space. So lots of time for sewing. It's a Sunday through Friday event. So there's opportunities for excursions and visiting galleries and, of course, shopping in Santa Fe. We wanted to just put this out here to officially say there are only 4 spots left. So if you'd like to come to Santa Fe, we would love to have you. It truly is a magical event, and it has everything to do with our fractured jacket concept. But you can, there's lots of flexibility with this technique that it's an endless pursuit of learning lots of different kinds of quote unquote fractured experiences with garments. So you can make a jacket. Traditionally, we use the London pattern or the Chicago pattern, but we've learned also you can use lots of different patterns. And right now we have 5 official techniques, but I'm sure there are more to come. And we even had participants making up their own techniques. So you learn definitely 3 techniques in a video class, the fractured jacket class, and then you have 2 more techniques that we recently taught at the fractured jacket in Kansas workshop. So just a little shout out for that. If you want to sign up, you can go to sewingworkshop.com, click on events, click on Santa Fe, and you'll see all the details there. And you can pay your deposit and secure your spot to go to Santa Fe. The next thing I wanted to announce, we have launched Linda's version of a newsletter. So Linda, this was actually my idea for her. Some of you have been asking about how to stay connected to Linda and want to stay connected to Linda. And so she is an avid follower of newsletter-like publications. As you hear her talk about on the live stream, she reads things from the New Yorker, Wall Street Journal. She reads newsletters from her favorite artists and artisans. So this is her version of a newsletter. So newsletters are back. They're in, they're out, now they're back. So her version is releasing and already released on a platform called Substack. So Substack is the platform that we're using to release her newsletter. It is out now. She just put out her first free newsletter bit. These are going to be different writings of her own imagination. They might be things like for travel, they might be things for interior design, for sewing, for garments, for techniques. It was an all-encompassing whatever is in the mind of Linda Lee. So I know a lot of you have already given us amazing feedback on this Substack platform. It is an optional subscription. You don't have to subscribe through Substack. You can just continue with a free subscription through Substack, but Linda will start to release newsletters only for paid subscribers through Substack very, very soon. So you can check this out. Her first one is released on Substack. So you can go to substack.com/@freshlaundry And this is where you'll see kind of a glimpse of her first and most recent, as of yesterday, first post on Substack. It's called Fit the Room, they said, and it's available now. You can get a sneak peek about what the content will be like, but it will cover a wide range of topics, and it's from the mind and the voice and the writing of Linda Lee. So check it out on Substack. You can subscribe to Fresh Laundry and get a glimpse into what that platform and what her newsletter will be like. All right, I'm ready to hand it over. Erin and Deb are in the studio, and let's hear from both of them and take a look at, Deb, what you've been making.
Hello, everyone. Hey. Welcome to our live stream. I'm Erin.
I'm Deb.
I'm so excited that Deb is joining us today. Every day at work, it is a fashion show with Deb. She is always wearing something she has made. It's always creative. It's always thinking outside the box, and it's always fun to see what she's done. Sometimes I wonder if she sleeps. I know she does, but I'm like, she must go home and just, you just must have a creative night, like every night, because it's just she's always coming in with something new.
Well, I usually try and break things up and spend maybe an hour sewing or maybe 2 hours sewing. Sometimes I just spend an hour outside, but it's hot, so then I come inside. Of course, it's baseball season, so if Jenny Matthews is on the radio, I'm in my sewing room.
There you go. Baseball and sewing.
Yep. I even have a plate on my car that says that.
So today we're going to show off, let's see, how many, Deb? We have 5 different garments that she has created using the Now shirt. So how did you get started using the Now shirt?
Well, Kathy Davis.
Of course, because Kathy Davis started using the Now shirt for pretty much, most of her creative makes.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It's nice, basic pattern. Mm-hmm. It's easy to change the sleeves. It's easy to change the length. The color is very basic, so that's easy to change. I mean, it's just a blank slate.
Exactly. It really gets your creative juices flowing. So the Now shirt, it actually comes in the paper pattern. It actually comes with the Now and the Zen shirt. And so 2 very unique shirts, yet simplified. So it can really take on a lot of different looks. So specifically the Now shirt, it's, kind of a more cropped shirt. It has this beautiful collar that's open at the ends, has stitched hems, long sleeves, but like you said, it's very simple. So you can really have fun with it. So here is the Now shirt, straight from the pattern. You can see the long sleeves. You can see the button front. You can see the length. You can see this really unique collar that's open. I guess it's kind of hard with this fabric, but it's open here at the ends. Simple back. Great pattern to start with. So Deb, let's see. Should we start with your yellow?
Start with yellow.
All right. Tell me about this yellow pullover.
Okay, so the first thing was the collar is half the height that it normally would be because the regular collar hit me like mid-ear. It just looked kind of funny. So I just folded it in half. So it still has a little opening, but it isn't done burrito style because it's just too small. So it's stitched on to the neckline and then just slip stitch on the inside. And then this was an idea that I got from Pinterest, obviously. So it's basically it was about 16 inches down to hit me above the belly button. And so that's just the normal shirt. And then the bottom part, I just placed on, there's a center line that goes up and down the buttons. And so I just placed that center line on the fold. And so the 2 matched on the sides. And so the back is just the same. The sleeves are just the same. And then, of course, little vents on the side. This actually, though, was probably, maybe 2 inches longer than what the regular Now shirt would be. Even though I'm short, sometimes it is my belly button. It's getting too short for my body these days.
I'm going to get it a little closer so you can really see that seam that she's talking about here. So here is the seam. at the front, and that's where the buttons go down to. So the buttons go down to that seam here at the center. So this is a pullover style.
Yep.
So this just gives you an idea here of what she did, just kind of some quick little tidbits so you can create your own pullover now shirt. So she used a yellow and white cross-dyed linen for her shirt. And we have quite a few cross-dyed linens. So it's the perfect weight, especially this time of year when it's 100 degrees. It's the perfect weight for a shirt.
But one tip that I will give you is I should have done French seams because it kind of raveled in a few spots. But I didn't think about that. So next time I use this, I'm doing French seams.
French seams can be really nice. I think it's a nice sophisticated way to finish your seams.
Yeah.
And then you don't have
to worry about fraying.
You don't have to worry about fraying. You don't have to worry about serging.
Yeah.
Which I think is really nice. And I love your buttons that you chose too.
Yeah, I bought these last year because they're really cute and there wasn't that many left. It's like, I'll buy those. And then I was like, oh, flowers in yellow.
I like it. We have some really good buttons here at the sewing workshop. We have a huge variety in multiple colors. We also have, wooden buttons. We have metal buttons. So this week we did add that to our fabric selections. You can choose buttons. So you could add on to your fabric order and we will pick buttons that will coordinate with that fabric.
Yes.
So throughout all these garments, you'll see Deb's great choices and buttons. And so you'll get that same service when you get buttons as from the sewing workshops. She's got really good taste. All right. So purple. What were you saying about purple?
Purple, I'm just in this purple kick right now, apparently, even though this was a year ago and these were 3 years ago. But this was a month ago. So same collar, but this is exactly where the length would be. The back is the same, nothing changed. But the sleeves, so I cut the sleeves and blew them up to 24 inches, I believe. And so it gives just a little bit of poofy, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then you gathered it here then?
Yeah, so it's just gathered from notch to notch, but most of the gathers I just left up at the top. So it's not real poofy. So same with the bottom. I put some gathers around the top part, and then I cut 1.5 inch strip at 14 inches, and then just use it as a little binding.
I think that's a great way to finish off that type of sleeve.
Yeah. So the 14 inches is nice and big around my arms. It doesn't constrict anything, so it's just a little bit more fun than elastic.
I like that.
These buttons are tone on tone purple. I don't know if you can see them or not. I think we have them in a couple different colors. You can see how the light kind of catches a little bit. So that was fun. I love buttons.
And so the back is longer.
Yep. 3 inches longer, I think. Yep. 3 inches.
Same side vent, but you can really see the dramatic, back hem. I like that. Having it a little bit longer in the back. And this is another cross-dyed linen. So more of a kind of a violet, purple, and white. I love that. So you said that this is half the collar,
I just
right?
fold it in half. Yep.
You just fold it in half. So the pattern has a line in the middle. And so you can just fold it in half along that line. And then the rest of it is the same.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what's next, Deb?
So now we have a black and white version, which is a rayon chalet. So it's floral.
So the same longer sleeves, right?
Yep. On their sleeves.
Where do these sleeves hit you?
They'll hit me just right above the wrist.
Right above the wrist? Okay.
I think it's 2 inches shorter than what the pattern calls for.
Is that typically what you do? Is you make the sleeve shorter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Most everything I shorten about 2 inches, and I'm 5'2".
Okay.
If that helps.
So not only in sleeves, but
sleeves and the
shirts,
length, and,
pants. Okay. She said she was 5'2", so that makes sense. And let's see. Looks like what did you do in the back on this one?
This one is where the back came into being different. I used a little pleat up here, kind of like the Zen, but then I used my hip curve to kind of create a little bit of a curve in the back, just to kind of give it, you can see how it kind of waves a little bit, that little curve.
And the same side vent.
Yep.
The side seam, longer in the back. And then some simple black buttons. You said this was a viscose?
Viscose or rayon? I can't remember. That was last year's.
I like that. Still nice and cool for this time of year. Has a great drape, really nice hand, very, very soft. We have quite a few viscose prints that are similar to this black and white print here. I think that's really fun. Of course, it's black and white, so I love it. You might have to stay up here with me. Okay, so what do we have next, Deb? We have another purple.
We have more
garment.
purple. More purple. So this one on the collar, I wanted to do more of a Peter Pan style collar. So I measured the collar from the Now, and then I took my hip curve again, so I could get a slight curve, and the measurements are on the hip curve. And so then, so this is kind of what I came up with. It's 3 inches by what the length was. And so you can't really see a whole lot of the curve on this. And I don't know if it's because the seersucker is fluffy.
That might be it.
I think that might be part of it.
But it still gives it a little bit of a rounded shape.
But the rounded collar seems to lay down a little bit better than the square collar. So there was that.
Especially in this fabric, I think. That was a good choice.
Yep. And this is cotton, so it's also nice and cool when it's 105 outside.
And a great shorter length.
Yeah. So this hits me right about the knee. This is, again, about 16 inches down, so right above my natural waist. And then I put pockets in. This is just a pocket template from your Hudson pants or Picasso pants.
So that's something that we do offer. If you buy the Hudson or the Picasso,
right,
you get the inseam or the side seam pocket template. So that's what she used here.
But I did not use this seersucker. I just used a little bit of cotton that was in my stash from another project. So that way it's nice and it'll lay flat. This is just too fluffy for pockets.
Is this your pants?
No.
I thought it was her pants fabric.
I think that was actually left over from a pillowcase.
Another purple something.
Another purple something.
And what do you know the overall length? Like, what would you normally do for a shorter dress for yourself?
This one I think is 37 inches long.
Okay.
So 36 hits just right above my knee. So this one's probably 37 altogether. The length was just basically what fabric I had. I think this was like 2 yards of fabric, and it's wide. So that's just the length that it ended up.
And this, I love this sleeve. I love a fuller short sleeve. I think that's really fun. Does this hit you at the elbow?
Right about the elbow.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's fun. And just some really great simple white buttons. I think
These are cotton buttons. Buttons made out of cotton. I don't know how they do
nice.
that, but
so I like that. So when you've been talking about a lot of these garments, there's some things that are similar. So you've used like your 16 inches from, I don't know, shoulder to, or down the center front, you said 16 inches. So you seem to be kind of building off of other, like you made one, you loved it, you're going to build off of it and make something else.
Yep.
So things kind of seem to be consistent. You find out where you like things to hit, right?
Yep. So when I say I measure down 16 inches, obviously Erin isn't going to measure down 16 inches. She's going to go a lot further. So you just want to figure out where you're comfortable at, what you want it to look like. Mm-hmm. But I have other dresses and tops that I've made that started out longer, and then I figured out at 16 inches is where I really like it, especially with the ruffle. It's just a good area for me. So.
Right. That's good. I mean, I think once you find out what's flattering, where you like things to hit, then you can make multiple garments based off of that measurement or that silhouette. So you're not, redoing everything every single time you're creating something.
Yep.
And speaking of another creation that's kind of similar to this purple stripe.
Kind of similar. But this one, I wanted it to be at my waist. So this is down 18 inches instead of 16. So it hits just right below my belly button. So, and then the collar is basically the same as the purple one, but I decided to blow it up a little bit. So it's bigger. And then the edge here, I didn't particularly like it so much because it was clear up here. So I just blew it out a little bit. So this one, it's still kind of hard to see the roundness of it, but it's a nice big fun collar.
See that collar? That looks great in the plaid. I like that.
Yeah.
And then tell me about the sleeves.
And then the sleeves are just like the yellow one and the black and white. It's just the regular length. It's linen, so I can still wear it in the summer. But when winter comes along, let that sleeve down, throw a turtleneck and some leggings and some boots on.
Mm-hmm.
So this dress basically could be worn year round.
I think the pink color kind of lends itself to spring, summer.
Yeah.
But then I think the undertones of these colors lends itself, like you said, to year round.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. And it's a nice medium weight.
Because looking at it, it's like I have a navy blue, I have a gray turtleneck, I have gray boots, brown boots. So the skirt is kind of the same concept as the purple and white, and it still has the little pocket on the side. But I wanted it longer. I sat there looking at it for a while going, this is going to be too short. And then it dawned on me, I can cut this the other way. So I was able to get more length out of it because otherwise I would have cut the 10 inches off and then it still would have been this short. So in the way that this plaid is, I don't know if you can tell that it's sideways or not. Maybe.
And I love how you use the selvage.
Yeah, I was going to hem that up and then I thought, well, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Had I known I was going to like that and do that, I would have done the same thing with the sleeves. So the selvage hem is just an afterthought.
And then let's talk about matching plaids. So I know with a lot of garments and you have a plaid and you can get worried about making sure those plaids are matching, but tell us about your philosophy in making this dress and what you did.
Okay, well, I don't get too crazy on matching, but I want to match the front, obviously, because that's the first thing everybody sees. And then the side seams, I'll match. No, I'm just matching these vertically. I'm not matching, or horizontally, not vertically.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that it matches horizontally. And then I don't worry about the collar. I don't worry about the shoulder seams because it's just really hard to get that done.
Right.
It's doable, but you're wasting a lot of fabric. And as far as the sleeves, I just match the notch. The front notch is all I match. I don't do the back because it's impossible.
Mm-hmm. Right. And this is, like you said, this is what you're going to see.
Yep.
And I love that it's just because it's multicolor, you just worried about the horizontal.
Yep.
And then you didn't worry about matching the color or anything like that.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted the horizontal match, then I'm done.
Like
of course, it's too stressful.
And I think that makes sense. It makes sense for this plaid. It makes sense for the colors. I think it works. And I actually think it would probably be too much block of color if you were trying to match the color. I think it works. I like it.
So it's fun.
Bring it up closer again. She's got these great buttons. It's like a navy and taupe and white button, which I think is perfect to go with all the different colors. See this great collar. I think that's fantastic.
Thanks.
I'm curious if people, like, I know we do a lot of different makes of the Now shirt, but at first glance, did you guys think that these were the Now shirt? Because I think there are quite a few of them that she'll come in and I'm like, oh, well, what pattern is it? Because you can't at first glance know what some of the patterns are.
Yeah.
I think especially like, I think this yellow one. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, okay, you're going to have to help me with this. I mean, it could have been a Berwick. So I think it's really interesting what you can do with just a simple pattern. All right. Should we open it up for some questions before we talk about fabric?
Yeah, well, everyone wants to know what you two are wearing.
Oh, Deb, what are you wearing?
Well, I am wearing Picasso pants in lavender. They've got the pockets on the front seams. And then the Picasso pants are made just the same as the pattern is. Nothing special on today. ET with the pleated sleeve.
All right, so we did the sleeve variations, the 3 sleeve variations for the ET for a So Confident, and it was also a class, so it was a video class, and so this is one of the sleeve variations that was included in that class, which is really amazing because you purchase the ET, but then once you purchase the class, you get those sleeve variations in that class. So it's a really fun addition to the ET. And I am wearing the Noto tee with the West End pants. And like Deb, there's nothing that's been done to the Noto tee, nothing that's been done to the West End pants, not even lengthened, mind you, which is not typical for me. So these are just the same ankle length West End pants in a linen. We didn't really know that we were going to coordinate today.
No, it just happened.
With the kind of light, springy bottom and the slightly, just a shade darker on the top. Had no idea. I was trying to give off Deb vibes today.
Tone on tone, it was good.
Yeah, tone on tone and colorful. So,
yep.
So there's a question about the purple now and how, Deb, you enlarged the sleeve. And I did want to show the slide for this. I don't think I did that earlier. So I'll go ahead and show the slide. Maybe you can talk more about this one and then show the sleeve detail, Deb.
Okay, so to do the sleeve, I traced out the sleeve on my pattern paper, and then I cut it to where I would have 3 open spots, and each open spot was 1 inch, and then traced it again to make the sleeve bigger.
So like a slash and spread method, if you guys are familiar with that. So you would draw lines, vertical lines on the pattern piece, right?
Yep.
And then cut those lines. And so you're not going to go through the sleeve cap. And then you take the pattern and you spread it to make it wider. And do you want to talk through this a little bit more? I know you did that earlier, but.
Well, so this is also going to be bigger because we blew everything up, and I didn't want it to be a bell type sleeve. So I just made some gathers, mostly on the outside, like right through here. And then, like I said, this is it was a strip that was 14 inches long by about 1.5 inches. And I just applied it like you would bias tape. So it's stitched around the top, and then I just lip stitch on the inside because I just love hand stitching.
And I may have to correct what I said, because here, did you just use the ease that was in the sleeve cap to make your gathers, or did you increase that as well?
No. So I cut it into basically 4 pieces so that there was 3 openings. So each one was 1 inch. Okay. And then I just was able to trace just over the top, but I didn't make it any taller.
Okay.
So that's why it's not poofing up.
So you did go all the way through the sleeve cap. So
I did.
Correction on that.
Sorry. Yep. Nope. The whole sleeve just blew up.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
And you talked on the viscose sample, the black and white, how you used the hip curve in the back. So could you perhaps demonstrate this or talk through how to do that a little bit more?
I don't have a hip curve up here with me, but what I did was with the pattern, I just laid the edge over here, and so it just curved down. And then when I got to the middle, I just flipped it over and then curved up. So there's not a big, deep, like shirt tail hem. It's just a slight curve.
So you know approximately maybe how much you lengthened it at the center back?
This one, I think I was able to lengthen it almost 5 inches, but then this comes up about 2 more inches.
So total, you lengthened it
by 5.
But the curve, I guess itself, was maybe only lengthening it by 2.
Yeah, so it probably cut another 2 inches off over here.
So it sounds like, you start at the side seam, and then you're just creating that curve to make it 2 inches longer, and then mirroring that curve to the opposite side seam.
Yep.
The plaid dress. So you talked about how you you chose to reveal the selvage for the hem and cut this a different way. When is it not okay to do the fabric on another grain line or cutting it a different way?
Well, I think if you have a stretch in a fabric and the stretch is going to is going to be maybe stretchier one direction or the other, you might rethink cutting something out in the other direction. I think if you have a nap, you're going to want to be careful of a nap or a print, of course. If you have a print that is moving in a different direction, it could be upside down if you turn your pattern piece.
The first Now shirt. Didn't that have sideways? No, the first one you shot.
Oh.
That paisley.
This one.
Excuse me.
So this is a great example of turning your pattern piece and maybe going in the crosswise direction. So the one front is horizontal, and then the other front is vertical. And then on the back, it's vertical. And you can see, the great thing is you can see that same direction on the sleeve. And let's see, there's no stretch in this fabric, so you didn't have to worry about that. So I think this is a good example of how to use it, how to turn your pattern piece and cut it out crosswise.
Can you talk a little bit about fitting the Now shirt? Do you make any bust adjustments and adjust for narrow shoulders?
I really didn't do any adjustments with the Now just because it's not meant to be that fitted. The shoulder is just slightly down a little bit, and I'm okay with that. But it's more of just kind of a box feel on the top, so I didn't feel the need to do any adjustments on this one. I would imagine in a few more years I'll probably do the round shoulder adjustment as I get older.
The round back. Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
But no special adjustments for fitting.
Could we see your whole outfits from the bottom of the pants to the top of your shirts?
So we didn't set up our extra camera mainly because it's just the two of us here in the studio. But we are wearing, again, the Noto and the West End today, and then the ET and the Picasso. So the West End pants hits at the ankle, and then the Picasso pants traditionally hits just above the ankle. Move this.
And maybe we could get pictures, or we have pictures of both of those pants, I think, so we can find those.
So, and I'm finishing off my look with some sandals, and Deb is finishing hers off with some platform sneakers.
And in these slides, Deb, what pants are these?
Those are actually Getaway jeans.
Those are just right off the rack, and they fit you beautifully.
Yep.
I thought it was a great look for kind of a last-minute photo shoot, and we had so much fun. You were adorable.
Oh, thanks. Got to wave at the truckers driving by.
And the other printed pants that are also seen with you wearing your yellow Now, those are what pants, Deb?
Oh, those are Hudson with cargo pockets added.
And we've had those, I think, on another live stream. I'm not sure the date, but we did have those pants.
Yep.
On a live stream not too long ago. We're really ready for some fabrics?
I think there's a couple questions still.
Okay.
How much did you allow for the pleat on the black and white blouse?
2 inches.
And did you use the same amount as the Zen?
I don't know. I didn't measure the Zen. I just kind of wanted to get that look in there.
Okay. So if you wanted to use the Zen pleat, the back pleat detail, you can. That'd be an easy detail to transpose from the Zen shirt to the Now.
And we don't have this exact fabric available, the black and white, but we do have a version of it.
We do, yeah, we're out of that viscose, but we do have this beautiful print. This is another viscose challis, and it's a really interesting print. It's a black and white print, but it reads also with some really rich brown tones.
There's a watercolor feel to it.
I think that's fantastic. And back to that Zen detail, we do have a Zen shirt here. And so it looks like the Zen detail would be wider. So if you did want to use that back detail, it is a deeper pleat on the Zen, which I think works.
Does the paisley collar have two fabrics?
This is all one fabric.
Oh, it just looks darker.
Great looks, Deb. Lots of great comments, and everyone loves the jeans on you.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's so cute.
I guess that's another project for this.
There you go.
And just to note this conversation about grain line is very important for cutting out. Only in specific cases would we really suggest to cut off grain, but it is important to cut your fabric on the grain line unless otherwise noted. But Deb's detail in cutting on the crosswise grain was to add length and use the selvage, and it was a specific case for her dress.
Yes, good note.
All right, I think we're ready for fabrics.
Okay. So you want to start here?
Sure.
This kind of has a similar feel to you as well, to your black and white print.
Yep. This one is a silk blend. It does have a little bit of spandex to it, so you've got some give. Not a whole lot, just one way. But good drape. Really pretty.
Nice medium weight. It's not sheer.
And again, it's cool when it's 100 degrees outside.
Like today. This next one is part of our cross-dyed linen collection in a green and white. Medium weight linen. And these linens really get beautiful when you wash them. I love the feel of kind of a rumpled linen when you wash it. And these would be beautiful when you do that. And that's what I tend to do with my linens is I like to wash them.
Yeah. They definitely get a lot softer.
Did you wash your garments? Do you tend to wash your garments?
I do. The yellow one and the purple one, I just wash in cold water on the delicate cycle. I'll throw it in the dryer for about 5 minutes on low and then hang it up. And usually a light press along the hems, things like that. But by the time I sit down in my car and drive to work, it's wrinkled anyway. So that's just linen.
Right. And we always recommend testing it, especially if it's a fabric that you're not sure what it's going to do. Test a 4x4 square of the fabric and see if you like the result. Wash it, dry it, see what happens. If you like the result, then it's something that you can wash after you've made the garment. That's how we recommend testing to see what you think. So what about this one? This one is a border print, which I think is really fantastic. A floral border print in navy and gold and blue and red. Is this a viscose?
It's a viscose, 57 inches wide and border on both sides.
Let's get this one out. It's kind of floppy here. But you could really have fun with this border on the shirt. You could, maybe you want to have it running vertically down the front, on one front, or maybe you want to have it at the bottom. I guess one of those circumstances where if you wanted to play with which direction you cut it out, you could. So what about the famous plaid?
There's the famous plaid. It's 100% linen. This square is slightly smaller than the one I used, but basically the same colorway. You can tell this one feels a little bit stiffer than what mine is because I pre-washed the fabric to make sure I got any shrinkage out. So, but we do also have the larger square that the dress is in.
Right, so we have both sizes. You can see the difference between the sizes and the color when you see them side by side. This one's more muted in the dress that Deb made.
It's got brighter pinks.
A little more vibrant and smaller. And it looks great with that kind of reddish
It does.
pink down here, another cross-dyed linen in red and white. But I think it gives off kind of similar tones to this plaid when it's cross-dyed. But again, another great option for your shirts. And up here we have a lemon print. This is another viscose challis, lemon cream dream. Just a beautiful, soft, yellow, a little bit sheer, but I think it'd be great for a blouse. Lightweight.
The black and white one that I did is a little sheer, but it's not too bad because, like I said, it is slightly oversized. It's not clinging to your body. You're not going to show off anything that you don't want to.
And you could always wear a camisole underneath it if you wanted to. And here's another cross-dyed linen. This one is aqua, so aqua and white.
So pretty.
Surprised you don't have a shirt out of this one.
I know. But it also kind of matches the little leaves, the shadows in the leaves.
I know. I thought at first I wanted to pair it with like more of a green, but I thought that this aqua looked really good with it. So you could do a pair of pants out of a lot of these linens to coordinate with some of these prints.
This one's fun.
This is a linen print. Yeah, lightweight linen. This has a great print. Let's get this one down too. It's always fun to see the prints up close. Some beautiful greens and pinks and orange. A very sketchy watercolor print. Kind of looks like it has pencil lines, like it's been sketched with a pencil and then filled in with watercolor. And then another cross-dyed linen here. I want to say this is like orange, like creamsicle. Looks like sorbet or something.
It does.
Sherbet. Yeah, I think that's really fun. And then I love this green and soft pink linen print. This would be great in a top or pants. I think this would make a great pair of long West End pants.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun.
And then a really soft pink. This one's kind of hard to see, but a really soft pink linen. Just the color itself is a very soft pink.
And these cross-dyed linens have a little bit of a sheen to it. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But when the sun's shining on it, it has a little bit of a sheen. There's nothing in there. It's just linen, but
Beautiful.
Pretty.
Mm-hmm. All right, did we get everything? Oh, and we had those. Why don't you grab those cuts? So we also had a couple other fabrics that we didn't have a lot left. We just have some cuts, but we wanted to show them to you because we thought they would make perfect shirts. So this one is a blue and white dot viscose crepe. I love the weight of a crepe. I think this would make a great blouse or pants. Good geometric design.
And this one's also a viscose, watermelon color. I don't think there's any fruit actually on it. It's just the color of the inside of a watermelon, which would be really good today because it's hot. But again, it's got a lot of movement to it. It's got a crepe feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's a great weight.
so this one is going to have two 2-yard pieces, which would be more than enough for a Now or a London or a Zen. So.
And this one has 3 yards. So just 1 3-yard cut on the blue. And one thing we haven't talked about yet, Deb, was what was that key notion that you like to use for your Now shirts?
So I use a hot ruler on every Now that I make, mainly on, where the button placket is. It's 3 inches, but you can see where the inch is, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, whatever you need. But it's a wool base, so when you steam the linen or anything else, you're going to get that steam coming from both sides on the fabric. So it just kind of gives me a nice crisp line. But it'll start up here, and then I'll go down and do that, and I've just got this perfect line to fold it over again. So I didn't have one of these until I started working here. It's great. I really like it. So.
Okay. Any other questions, Alex?
What is actually printed on the watermelon color fabric?
It's a floral design. So turquoise and green and pinks. There you go. Really intricate details on the petals of these flowers. It's really neat. I don't know if you can see that, but unique coloring too. I think the combination of colors is really unique.
The turquoise and the teal on that watermelon is fun.
And they did mention this, but yes, the cross-dyed linens would be great for pants. Linda left a comment in the chat. She has several pants in this. And although they might not be the same linen, they'd be great West Ends.
Right. This is a different linen. It's not the cross-dyed linens, but a very similar weight.
And yes, the plaid that you see on the wall is the same fabric that I used for my carnelian coat that I made earlier this year, and I'm actually wearing it today. So mine is, like they mentioned, it's a little bit brighter color, a little bit more vibrant. Deb's dress is slightly more muted, but these are the same fabrics that you see on the wall and what I'm wearing. What linen would you pair with the watermelon print?
Oh, we got some interest in the watermelon. Let's see, what does it look like? We have the red cross dye here at the bottom. I think that would be a great match. If you wanted it to be a little more bold, let's see. Let's put it next to some of these colors.
We do it then.
It's also got this really great green. I think if you want to have something a little bit darker, maybe you're moving into fall, you could go with more of a golden green color. I think if you go with this darker green, that would also kind of take you more into fall, which I think would be beautiful.
Would the cross-dyed linens work for a difference when used at 90-degree difference? Would it have a visual nap?
It would. I'm going to pull one out. You can see, like, at least in this one, you can really see the darker, the green. You can, well, it's really hard to see on the camera, but you can visually see the darker green running this direction. So parallel to the selvage. I think it's a lot lighter perpendicular to the selvage. So if you're cutting it out with the grain, you're gonna see just slightly. It's not dominant, but you do see that vertical stripe.
So if you want to use the selvage edge, if that's what they're thinking, if they want to use the selvage edge, then cut everything out this way.
Mm-hmm. But maybe you also like that. If you want to see that difference, just like you would, I mean, obviously it'd be really slight, but just like you would change the direction of a stripe. If you want to see that change.
That is all the questions I see.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of run through what we have on sale this week. So all of the fabrics that we've shown today, including our end cuts of the watermelon floral and the blue, those are all on sale, 15% off this week. And then, of course, our Now pattern, which comes printed, but also with the printed pattern comes with the Now and Zen. Then there's the digital pattern, just the Now, 15% off. And then the hot ruler is on sale, 15% off. We just got these back in stock. And then recently, Alex did a matching plaids tutorial when we were working on the carnelian coat. And so it's a matching plaids or a plaid pocket tutorial. And so that is on sale this week. All right. Did I miss anything, Alex?
No, great job, guys. Very fun show. Thank you, Deb. Everyone loved your inventiveness and creativity. So it's fun to see.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you. It was fun.
All right. Hope everyone has a good week. Thank you for joining us.